you kind of see it over here, 329, and you can see the discount. Alright, it's time for my 12 swipes so I can avoid my maintenance fee at the bank. Alright, let's count. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that means I won't get a maintenance fee. So the banks that are in there, as long as you do 12 point of sale swipes, then you're not charged a maintenance fee. So you save $12. I guess 12 for 12. Plus I get a banana. Hello? Yeah. At the bank, you know those banks that are like in Walmart and Kroger? If you do 12 swipes, then you're not charged a maintenance fee. Isn't that great? I just get mine out of the way all the time. All right. Well, all right. You have a good one. Thanks. One thing I've never done is I've never played an 18-hole golf game. I've done it at putt-putt golf or mini golf. I've never, you know, gone on the golf, the whole 18-hole. Anyway, I thought it'd be cool to do. Got a silver alert coming out of Garden Ridge. Alright, so the silver alert is a GMC Sierra, Texas license 5T WSM, coming out of Garden Ridge, Texas. One more time on the silver alerts, Garden Ridge Silver GMC Sierra, license plate ends in 5T WSM. As in Mary. Alright, one more time on silver alert coming out of Garden Ridge, Texas. GMC Sierra, Texas license plate 5TW. SM as in Mary. So it's coming out of Garden Ridge. GMC Sierra. Silver alert. Headed to Irving. Kia. Thinks of silver alerts. And there's Baylor Scott White. It's where all 3 of my children were born, all pretty much in the same room. Not at the same time, though. The first 2 are like Irish twins, so they were born almost within the same year. Then the third one came 3 years later. A boy and 2 girls. That's Baylor Scott White. One of the great doctors there, Ron Livingston, I think is his name. He's a very good doctor. Because my second wife, she had a special. She was able to have kids, but we needed a special doctor to help out. Anyway, Baylor Scott White. Clay Cooley. The one in Irving. Well, let's see if this cup of coffee will stick. Last one I spilled. Let's see. I'll go to latte. We'll do cappuccino. Same thing. I wonder what button I'm hitting wrong. Maybe latte? Cafe latte, maybe? Oh, I see. I figured it out. You have to put the cup down before it activates. Seems like that's the case. Oh, there it is. It started to. Maybe like. That's very sketchy. I guess we're gonna do a latte. So a coffee is made with espresso and steamed milk, so it makes it a latte. It's kind of foamy. It's pretty good. And the flusher works. The brand is known as Toto. Pretty good. I have this thing right here. Let's see. Oh. That is the K5. Here's the song. It's classified as a truck. Telluride. And Alright, had to do some finalization. So these are mostly the economic Kias. They're going to be, you know, gas savers, economy size car. Then you have some of the sportage style vehicles. And this one's considered an economy, which is the GT, which is really the only version of the EX Forte. It's still a Forte, and it does have the sunroof. So if you ever have, you know, a reason to use it, I probably can find reasons. There's a little cover thing right here. All right. So I don't understand really everything about the Silver Alert. I did write a short novella called Silver Alert Kitty, but the good one is Pet Taxi, which is the other story that's connected to it, which is about the same character, Fred. I believe his name is Fred. Anyway, it's a series of 4 stories. One called Men, the other one called Silver Alert Kitty, and then Pet Taxi, and then the conclusion of Pet Taxi. But they have them, so these old people that are either senile or they're just old get a hold of a vehicle. Maybe it's their own vehicle, I don't know, and they're on bed rest or something, and they just go driving. And they're like, well, where did they go? They have access to a vehicle, and they find out if they had access to a vehicle, and then they find out if they have a license plate. So it could be someone else's vehicle, or it could be their own vehicle. Probably their own vehicle is what it is. And then they make sure they get back safe, is probably what they do. It could be like several Silver Alerts with the same license plate. That Sierra sounds familiar. That's coming out of I believe it's up here. It's coming up this way. We'll take a look at it in just a minute. I think it was the Sierra. It's coming out of, yeah, it's a GMC Sierra. Garden Ridge. Yeah, so the Silver Alert is Garden Ridge, Texas. It's coming out of there. Silver GMC Sierra. License plate ends in WSM. W like Washington, S as in Sierra, and M as in Mary. All right. So I hope, oh, and they're from Louisiana right there. So I hope they find them and bring them in okay. Usually they're just concerned with their safety. And I don't know if they no longer allow the old person to have access to a vehicle at that point, if the Silver Alert is called, and how they would even know if they got like a new vehicle or something like that. But usually it's going to be 65 years and older when they're dealing with Silver Alerts, or maybe even older than that. I don't know the age in it, but Silver Alert means 65 and up. That's what it means. So, okay.
If this had been an actual emergency, WRR would have instructed you of news and official information. WRR has finished conducting this test of the emergency alert system.
again, that silver alert's coming out of Garden Ridge. License plate 5T.W.S.M. And it's a Sierra GMC. All right, silver alert, GMC Sierra, license plate 5T.W.S.M. 5 like the number, T like Texas, W like Washington, S like Sierra, and M like Mary. And they're coming out of Garden Ridge, so watch out. They're probably playing, I don't know, it could be Cat Stevens on the stereo. They probably have a cassette tape, maybe not. But most likely they don't. They didn't give the year of the vehicle. It is a Sierra GMC. I don't know if it's an older model. More than likely they're listening to, you know, something like Janis Joplin. Listen for stuff like, I don't know, anything that would come out of the Woodstock series. You know, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young. I listen to some of that stuff anyway. They could be listening to classical music. There's a good chance every once in a while they might throw on some Alanis Morissette, but I doubt it. But yeah, Janis Joplin, The Doors, listen for things like that you might can catch them that way. And then just, you know, return, just, you know, get in touch with the authorities and see what they say. They'll most likely will, you know, because we don't want them trying to camp out beside the road or something, or whatever happens to them. You know, it's a serious thing. Okay, let me tell you a story. It happened to me. It happened when I was younger. My grandfather and his brother, which would be my uncle, they took their shotguns and threw it in the trunk and drove to Las Vegas. And they were probably borderline maybe 70, in their 70s maybe a little older. I don't even know how old my grandfather got to, at least in their 70s. But they were stopping at every exit to use the restroom all the way to Las Vegas, and my uncle was able to get to his vehicle and go drive after them, and found them at a gas station using the restroom before they could get to Vegas, and had them come back. So he helped them and was able to catch them. I don't know how my uncle did it, but he jumped in the vehicle and went after them. Because my grandma reported it to my uncle. My uncle was like, oh dear, and didn't want him to get in trouble. So, this was before silver alerts, though, by the way. Sorry guys, I got to make a correction on that story about my grandfather. That in the, you know, it wasn't a silver alert because they didn't have them back then, but he took off with my great uncle. So it had been his brother, which would be he was my uncle, but he was my great uncle. And then my uncle went after him and was able to find him before they got to Vegas. And yeah, they just threw their shotguns in the trunk and left for Vegas at the age of 70 or so. They were pretty old. And my uncle went after my grandfather and great uncle. That's how the story went. I don't know where he caught them. I don't know if it was Barstow. They were taking some of the medicines that the doctors gave them, and sometimes they have reactions to that. But they had to stop at almost every single exit to every single gas station along the way to use the restroom, because my grandfather, he was slightly diabetic, and the great uncle was older too, so they got busted at a gas station by my uncle. He went after them in probably a I'm trying to think of kind of car. I don't know if he went after him with my grandma's Lincoln, town Lincoln. He probably had something similar himself. He's a business major from TCU. He might have been driving an economy Hyundai or something. I don't know what he was driving. They were most likely driving probably a Lincoln. Yeah, they were driving a one of those big old white town Lincoln vehicles. Had a little cassette tape. You know, you put the little cassette tape in there. Jimi Hendrix or whatever it was. I don't think they were listening to that. Actually, you know what? Let me go all the way back. We're talking about silver alerts of back in the 90s that weren't really going on. They wouldn't have been listening to that at all. They'd have been listening to maybe Frank Sinatra. I don't know. If they were headed to Vegas, probably like the 1940s radio hour, you know. The Rat Pack might have been on their cassette tape. Probably, yeah. Ben Crosby might have been singing, some maybe possibly musicals, maybe even The Wizard of Oz, who knows.
A million stars dance with the taillights in my windshield. I send a prayer out on the nothing but FM and a Martin in this pickup. Still I can't help but grin. The grass playing on the radio, I sure do love that sound. I come here to fish but I changed my mind. Too much moving around.
Go find me a silver alert.
But I'm so tired, I just can't do no more.
Crunch it down and get you and pull you over. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, leave that for other people. No, I'm just seeing all these silver alerts. What are these old people doing? Danny DeVito, Jersey Mike's. It's not freshly sliced. It's not Jersey Mike's. Thank you, Danny.
Staying home alone every night. It's nobody's business where I'm bound. As if to be alone, just ain't right. On the old freight train moving down the line, I'm getting each and every day. Your picture's always there on my mind, but for you it's just the price that I pay. The price I pay for loving you. The price I pay.
Remember when you come into Fort Worth, stop by the Daughters of the Confederacy. So the Daughters of Confederacy plaque is right over there. It talks about the Daughters of Confederacy. It's pretty cool. We did a little vlog on it.
The train run out of track with no way to turn back.